Hello and welcome to another training session for the Agent Desktop client. In this session, we'll be focusing on how to interact with voice calls. Please note that other videos are available, including how to get the software installed and how to log in so that you're seeing the presence tool that I have in the top right-hand corner of my desktop screen. Okay, once logged in and ready to take phone calls, again, both of those details covered in the Using the Agent Desktop client training video, you will be able to receive phone calls. Now, in the bottom right-hand corner, please ignore as I generate a call. It's just a demo system I have here, but this is an inbound call popping up on my screen right now from North Carolina. I can see that the call is coming from this phone number, the 919 phone number at the top. Oftentimes, you'll see the caller ID name, if applicable, and you'll also see the group that it is calling into. So let's say I'm a part of a sales team and a support team. I'll be able to see before I even answer that call what type of call it is, all on my screen here. Now, please note that this is not a soft phone, meaning this is not a client that allows me to answer and make calls. So clicking on like the check mark is not going to answer that call. Common misconception. You will still answer your phone using your hard phone on the desk or maybe a soft phone via a communicator and other resources. Okay, so this box will stay on your screen while you're on that call, and it'll actually remain on the screen even after the call ends. The reason why we have this box for you is not only information about the call itself thus far, but your ability as an agent to add additional information for reporting purposes. You'll notice there's an account code option at the very bottom right-hand corner, just this open field right here. If I click on that, I'll see a list of available options. This is completely customized and managed by your management or IT group. In this case, I will be able to select a resolution code or wrap-up code or account code for what happened on that call. So in this case, I'm going to say that it was a cell that I completed. So I'm going to mark it as completed cell, and you'll see that that highlights it beneath. In addition to clicking on it and seeing the list, you can start typing. So if you have a lot of account codes and don't want to scroll through the list, you can start typing it. So I'm going to say this was a request for my supervisor. So they actually was talking, and after a while requested supervisor. I can tag it as that as well. Notice that there's more than one down here. To clear any account code, let's say I added one by accident, I just click on it and it disappears. So again, you can add as many account codes as you want, and those will stack in the list below. When completed, you can click the check box to close this and save everything that you've added. If you do not want to save, maybe you conclude this call halfway through and you recognize, none of this applies, I don't want to save any of it, just click on the X and that will close the box as well as get rid of the information. Again, as stated before, this will remain on the screen even after the call has concluded, so you do need to click one of those to get rid of it. And just to show you what happens if a new call comes in before you close that box, they'll start stacking on top of each other like you see here. So in this case, I'm going to click the checkbox. All right, so I'm on a new call. I can add an additional account code. Let's say it was a cancellation of their service. You can also add notes to these calls. So let's say that you want to document some things that happen on that call so that your supervisors or managers can see that historically using our software. You can add notes, which allows you to add more details than just what the account codes may offer. To do so, simply right-click on the box and go to Notes. And that'll open up a box allowing you to free-form type any note that you need to about that call. Maybe more details of why the customer's getting upset, or account codes, or excuse me, I should say like account numbers and additional information. And that will be added to that call in our format called Cradle to Grave, as well as in reports for your management to see. With the notes and account codes, once again, click on that check mark to get rid of it. Okay, that box can also appear when you're making outbound calls, when you're receiving internal calls from other agents, and other types of calls. If you want to control what type of call pops appear, maybe you don't want to see outbound call pops, you can right-click on your presence tool and you'll see an option for the pop-ups. And you can click the check mark for each one that you want to include and uncheck any that you do not. One more important thing for you to see is if you If your company is offering queue callback and have the appropriate licensing to do so, you may be uh, what we call reserved from time to time for a callback. A little background for you. Queue callback is a customer's ability that while they're waiting in a queue to schedule a callback instead, meaning hold their position in a queue, allow them to hang up, and then call them back when they've reached the front of the line. One of the strategies included with that option is reserve agent. What this means is we're going to wait until an agent becomes available to take their call, and we'll reserve that agent while the system calls them back and offers them their options to accept, cancel, snooze, etc., and then reconnect. You as an agent, though, what you'll see on your screen is a reserved agent pop. And I can't trigger it necessarily on the screen, so I'm just going to open up a image of what that looks like. So this reserved for queue callback with a counter of 2 minutes and 17 seconds remaining, that will appear above your clock in the bottom right-hand corner, letting you know, even though your phone's not ringing right now, we're trying to reach out to somebody on your behalf. So please don't run away, go on break. We're going to try to connect somebody, and if you leave, they're going to get connected back. You're going to miss that call, and they're going to be back in the queue and probably wondering why they ever scheduled the call back to begin with, depending on how long it takes for the next person to get to it. So keep that in mind. And that 2 minutes doesn't necessarily mean that that's how long it's going to take for them to accept and connect to you. That's just a timer to give you an idea of about the maximum amount of time we're going to wait before we give up on that caller and move you on to the next call. So you can absolutely take a call before that timer concludes with the queue callback. Okay, final thing for you to see, and apologies, I probably should have showed you this a little bit earlier after the call, but when you conclude a call, so again, we'll have an inbound call pop up like that. When you're concluding a call, if it's a skill group call, so coming from a multimedia or call center call route, you will receive an after call work that appears on the screen itself. Once again, let me just populate that here with the demo. And it looks like that. You'll notice the ACW time left is counting down. I'm no longer on a call, and I'm not going to get another call from the skill group until that timer has concluded. As an agent, you may have a few options, including snoozing. So if you need just a little bit more time before that next call comes through to write a note or add the account code to that call before clearing it, just click on the snooze button and it'll give you by default 30 seconds more, as you saw on the screen. And you probably noticed as it got down to 5 seconds, it'll start flashing red as well, just a little bit of a warning for you. However, if you are done with your work and you're ready to move on to the next call because the queue's stacking up and you want to help the team out, you can click the check mark at any time to help out with that call. If you need more time than the after call work timer is offering, I would highly recommend using the MMD&D toggle that you learned about in our other trainings to truly go on Do Not Disturb, and it will not send you another call until you've switched that back. Okay, well, that's all you really need to know about interacting with the calls. A few key points is note that this is not a soft phone, so you do not answer it with this software or hang up on it with the software. We would encourage you to use those account codes and notes for better reporting. And lastly, when you see that reserved agent box, stick around because we're reaching out to somebody and we're going to connect them to you if they accept. So thanks for your time and have a great day.